In this video we are going to see classes and ID attributes. We actually use them to actually grab the element so that we can actually style that in the CSS, or grab the element to do something in the JS by some functionality to that element. If I go to my code and remove the previous code, and I will take a h2 heading and I'll say this is awesome to learn HTML. So this is a heading. I can actually use here class or ID. And what is the actually difference between class and ID? So ID actually is unique. You can actually use an ID only in an element. You cannot use multiple like one ID into multiple places. Like if I use ID here and I say heading 1, okay, so I will not actually use that ID into multiple places. This is not good practice. Okay, you can do that, but this is not good practice. You should not do this. But if you use class, if you use class, you can actually now use that heading 1 class here and also here. If I make it h1 up bigger, this is awesome, this is the second heading. Okay, I made it a little bit different, and we can actually use both element. The only class, only one class we can use that, but we cannot do that with ID. And also we can use multiple classes. If you want heading 1, then it is the title of the page. We can say we actually use 2 classes now here, but we are using 1 class here. This is fine. But with ID we can also use ID and class at the same time. So you can do that, ID and class. So but what I was saying is, with ID you can only use one ID. You cannot actually use multiple class in IDs. Like you have to say this is for section 1. Okay, this is for section 1. This is the ID of this heading. So you cannot actually use multiple ID here, like give a space and then you cannot actually write another ID. But you can do with that with class. So this is not actually very hard to learn. Just remember, in class we can actually specify multiple classes in one class, but with ID it has to be unique, and we can only use this in one element, and there is only one ID will be in an element. There will not be multiple IDs in one element. There should not be. You can actually do that, but you should not do, because this is not actually good practice. And that's it. You actually have should know this ID and class for when you will move into CSS. When you are going to style them, you need this class or ID so that you can grab this and style this. If I show you what you actually can do, we can actually create a style tag here and grab this ID section 1 by giving a hash before and open a curly brace, and I can say background will be, let's say, a grayish background. If I save now and if I go to the website now, there is a background. You can see there is a background that is a gray, and this is actually white. This is a little bit gray. I can also say the color of the text will be red, this element only. Okay, so this is the main thing for ID and class. This is the 2 things, and this is important, really important. Please remember this. This is important, and I will see you in the next video.